Thank you for being here. We have had problems getting you here because of COVID, and so I'm excited that you're here. You're super smart, and we've become friends over the phone and text, and thanks for being here.
Oh, I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
So
I'm excited.
you have joined TikTok. What made you want to join? Whose idea?
And my kids were like, "You can't do it. We're going to get bullied." I thought it'd be fun. And I thought it would be, what I really thought, I'm just going to be really honest, I thought I would do all the dances, because I practice them at home, and people are like, no dance. What can you teach us about something? I'm like, I want another place to be serious. Like, I wanted to have fun, but
Right.
I only have like 5 up so far. I'm nervous.
Well, but it's a good platform, and it's good to have fun, and I think people should see your fun side.
Yeah.
I want to see your pickleball side. We keep talking that we're going to play, but we really need to play. We should play and then post it.
I think you're afraid.
Don't you. Hey, can we, here's what I did learn, though, on TikTok, is that you have a tattoo. Nobody knew that.
That's my sisters did that to me. We played that game, you know, where you're like, point to the one that this, point to the one, and then I'm standing between my twin sisters, and they're like, who has the tattoo? And they're both like, yeah, I do have a tattoo.
And tell everyone where it is and what it says.
Jesus. It doesn't say Jesus.
No.
But that'd be funny.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to get it when I was 18, but then I was like, God, it's a big decision when you're 18. I said, if I still want it when I'm 23, 5 years from now, I'm gonna do it. And this is before tattoos were popular. Like, I was the first non-gang member that this guy ever gave a tattoo to. Really, I guess no one, he's like, you know, you didn't ride in? And I said, no, I just kind of drove in. So his name was Professor Inkslinger. I think it was in Kansas, if memory serves. I was really into, what is that movie? Captain? Dead Poet Society. I was really into that. So it said, Carpe Diem. Yeah, and now it says, Carpe Diem. I remember when my daughter was in, I don't know, she was probably in elementary school, maybe kindergarten. She goes, hey, Dada, Mama got a sticker on her hiney. It's like,
Dad, I probably knew that already.
Dada knew.
Yeah. Hey, let's talk about our Atlas of the Heart. So we got 3. Portia and I went through 3 of them, and then we just asked for more. So how many are there total?
5.
Okay,
in the
so
series.
Explain. It's great in book form, but it's even better in this form because it kind of explores you know, different people in the audience. So explain. It's on HBO Max. Explain what it is.
So Atlas of the Heart is a book about language and emotions. I go through the 87 emotions and experiences that we need to be able to understand in language in order to connect with ourselves and each other. So the problem is that we have very limited language. We just don't have the words that are as expansive as our experience. So in Atlas of the Heart on HBO Max, we go through 30 of those with a live audience using film, television, and pop culture. So we get to use clips and really kind of step, you know, there's nothing safe about learning about emotion. That's the portal that I was talking about. It's kind of scary. But when you use film and television, you can kind of step back and watch it unfolding with someone else. And so that's what the show is. It was so much fun.
It's great, and I love the interaction with the audience and everyone exploring it. You talk about hot coffee. Explain that conversation that you have. This
is some really powerful neuroscience research that shows that when we experience physical pain, like let's say hot coffee drops on your hand, the part of the brain that lights up is the same part of the brain that lights up when we experience shame, exclusion, or emotional pain. Like, emotional pain is real pain. And so just like if you hurt yourself, you would tend to yourself, heal, take care of yourself. When we feel pushed away, when we feel shame, when we feel isolated, when we feel lonely, those injuries are real. Our body's like, we're hurt, and we have to do something about it.
Yeah, and most people don't. We just brush it off like, it's amazing. It's fascinating. We have to take a break. More with Brene after this. We're back with New York Times bestselling author Brene Brown. And what's really surprising to me, because I came from a family that did not talk about emotions. There were no emotions except fine. We were all fine all the time. We were just fine. So to hear that we are not thinking beings, we are emotional beings that have thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, I think we so desperately want to believe that we are cognitive thinking beings who on occasion get inconvenienced by emotion. This is not true. We are emotional beings who on occasion think. And when emotion is driving, which is almost always, thinking is not over here riding shotgun. It's in the trunk, hogtied. Like emotions just got clear path. And so, and I don't know, we're really doubled down on that, man. We are like, I'm not a feeling person. You know, just saying, no, man, I am not a feeling person. I'm like, wow, that's so many feelings.
Yeah.
You know, the whole, the screw your feelings stuff. I'm like, wow, so much rage in your flag.
Yeah.
So much anger, so much resentment, so much contempt, all feelings.
Yeah. See, even just those three, like contempt and rage and anger, when people hear that you said 80?
We found 87 emotions and experiences that we need to understand.
Yeah, but most people think there's three. There's happy, sad,
Pissed off,
yeah. So, but there's actually a ton more when you really think about it, and you go through that in this series, in these episodes. But I think it's really hard. Like I said, I come from not even understand. I'm still at this age learning what my feelings are. But how do you communicate with a friend, a lover, or someone when you don't have that education of the skill of, and language is so important.
Yeah, it's really tough. I mean, I use the comparison. Imagine if you went to the doctor because you were in pain and you had this terrible shooting thing in your shoulder, and when you were getting ready to tell her about it, where it hurt and how it hurt, your mouth was duct taped shut. And you just were like, One of two things would happen. As someone who studied human behavior for 2 decades, I would say one of two things would happen in that examining room. One, you'd just start flailing around, knocking stuff off shelves out of just rage and confusion and desperation. Or two, you would just slide down on the floor in a heap out of despair. Like, I'm in pain and I can't communicate that to you.
Yeah.
And so we need the language, because here's the bottom line. We are neurobiologically hardwired for connection with each other. In the absence of connection, there is always suffering. There is just deep suffering, and we're seeing it right now in the world. And so we need language to forge connection. That's what I'm hoping to do with Atlas of the Heart.
Yeah. We'll be right back. We're back with Brene Brown. Talk about like an educational thing to watch on television is your series on HBO Max. It really is so important. It's so important to learn that. So there are two words, Schadenfreude and
Schadenfreude.
Schadenfreude and
Freudenfreude.
Okay, so some people might know what Schadenfreude is, but some people don't. So explain Schadenfreude and Freudenfreude.
So Schadenfreude, and all you have to do is like go on social media or turn on the news. Schadenfreude is feeling delight and joy at someone else's misery. Right? So someone big fails publicly, or an influencer makes a wrong step, and we're like, and it's really dangerous with a group of people. Because when we're with a group of people and we take shared delight in watching someone else's humiliation or pain, the thing to remember about that is anytime you feel connection based on someone else's pain or humiliation, that connection is counterfeit. It is BS. It's not real connection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So And as you've said, that's what's happening in social media.
Yeah.
There's this pile-on mentality
Yeah.
when they see somebody failing or hurting in any way.
For sure.
There's something that makes them feel good about themselves, better about themselves. And the opposite, Freudenfreude.
I love this, and I just discovered it when I was doing the Atlas research. But it tracks back to something Steve and I, my husband and I, taught our kids growing up. So we used to say Freudenfreude is taking pleasure or joy in someone else's pleasure or joy. So I say to you, hey, I got that promotion, and you're like, woo woo, yes. That's Freudenfreude, and we know it's a huge predictor of good relationship and deep connection with lovers, with friends, with family. When my kids were growing up, Steve and I, especially hit in 3rd or 4th grade, how many of you have ever parented a 3rd or 4th grader? Right, yeah, it gets real, right? And so we used to say, listen, hold your hands like that. So put your hands in a cup. And we used to say, Ellen, because my daughter's name is Ellen, inside here is a little flame, and that's you, that's your essence, that's your spirit. And what you're looking for as a friend, when things get really windy and dangerous, they kind of put their hands over yours and they say, let's keep that thing from blowing out. What we don't want are flame blower outers. The friend where you go, guess what, I got the part in the play. And your friend goes, oh, it's a really dumb play. Hey, guess what, I made Safety Patrol. Oh my God, what a nerd. We want the friends who keep the flame going. No flame blower outers.
I love it. I think, you said a minute ago, there's a lot going on in the world right now. It is heartbreaking, really, for me, when I, as a person that struggles with depression and anxiety, when I feel everything that's going on. So for someone like me, and I hope there's a lot of people that are empathetic out there that feel what's going on in the world, what do you suggest? How do we deal with what's going on?
I wish I had a really easy answer. I don't, because I'm struggling too. I'm struggling with, some mornings I play Wordle and then I just want to go back to sleep and wake up till the next Wordle's ready, and I don't want to face the actual world. I think action and scale. And we've got to remember, we can do small things that make a difference, but one of the things I find myself doing right now that I'm really working on, because it's very dangerous for me, is I'm not allowing myself to feel joy. I'm not allowing myself to get excited about things that are in my family that are important, because I'm like, how dare I feel joy right now while the world's falling apart? But I think the last thing the world needs is for us to withhold love and joy. We need to take action against all the systemic stuff that's happening in the world right now. There's no shortage of ways to do that. And we also need to lean into love and joy and connection. And it's hard. It's hard.
Yeah. We have to take a break. More with Brene after this.